Oh, let's see. I have to do game capture. Greetings, everybody. I am Aspen Dracaena, your friendly neighborhood Ice Dragon Bookwyrm VTuber, and there's game capture. Yay! I am here with Panda Hiroru, who
Hello.
is my lovely, lovely boyfriend,
Yeah.
who tortured me with this game a few weeks ago. And we're gonna
A few months
finish.
ago.
Oh, we're gonna finish this. We are so going to finish this.
For better or worse, we're gonna
Yeah.
finish this.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm not a person who, what's the word? Oh, hi, Winter Rain. So Panda, Winter
Mhm.
Rain is my long lost ice dragon brother.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, I'm not one to shy away from tough subjects. I think people know this about me.
hmm
But I also, having worked as a therapist, I believe confidentiality is very important too.
Yes.
And there are things I talk about openly and things that I prefer to be held a little closer to my chest for various reasons. Um, I know I had a big post today on Blue Sky. What I am willing to talk about is my mother's situation. I am not willing to talk about the person who triggered my panic attack. Um, that is something that it is a matter that I feel for me is not comfortable or safe for me to talk about at the present time. I have no intention, and I've said this before, I have no intention of bringing harm to that person. I do not hate this person. I'm very upset at this person. I do not hate them. I do not wish them harm. I have no interest in harming their reputation. I think being a vengeful person is a very sad state to be. I do not think it is right or fair to treat people like they can't change for the better. I think it's important to always give people a chance. However, I'm also not going to let somebody take advantage of me. And this is somebody who took advantage of me for a long time. So I said no regarding a topic. And that person does not like hearing no. That is all I'm going to say about it. But again, I have no interest in harming their reputation. I think they've done enough for themselves as it is. And that's all. In regards to my mother, she's doing okay. She had told me that about her experience when she woke up a few mornings ago and she didn't know where she was. She could not recall if she lived with me or not. Then she couldn't recall if I had a job and where I worked. if anybody who knows what it's like to have a family member who has memory issues, whether it's a more extreme form like dementia or Alzheimer's or, for some other reason, it's scary. I love my mom so much, and I feel like, for all the people I love who I've lost in my life, at least I have memory of them, and the thought that she might have difficulty with her memory, it it's not just scary because, I don't want her to forget me, but it's also scary because, you know, memory is a big part of how we relate to people, and it's a big part of our relationships with people. And, I want her to be okay. And it's hard when she has PTSD, she has ADHD, she had a car accident, she has diabetes, like all those things together, they affect your nervous system. And that's a big combination cocktail of mess that can cause a lot of problems with processing information and remembering things. So right now she's okay. My family is trying to figure out what to do to support her best. We all love her very much. She's an incredibly kind, incredibly lovely person who Panda has met.
Yes.
Yeah. She's a former preschool teacher. So, she's had so many students and so many families that she's worked with who really love her. And I'm very protective of my mom. I don't like the thought of anybody taking advantage of her or harming her in any way. So, I think I'm pretty rightfully worried. But I know it's not good for me to stay in a place of worry. And sometimes you need to take a break and do things like play a video game with your boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever you're with, or with just your friend or by yourself, whatever works. So we are going to finish this game. I am going to mold, I'm sure. And Panda's going to be like, oh my gosh, honey, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm playing this game, damn it. So thank you, everyone, for your kindness. I will not be answering questions about my post further than what I said. If anybody acts up in chat, they will be blocked. Panda has mod abilities now. He can block people if I don't see it.
You can't see it right now, but I'm flexing so hard.
Yeah. So yeah. But please don't try to get involved in this situation. It's not good for anybody. There's nothing anybody watching can do about my mom, of course. But it's also just not appropriate to get into the middle of a conflict between two people who you don't know.
Hey, Whit.
Hi, Whit. Thank you, Whit. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. I was going to say, as we say in my part of the country, don't be fucking stupid, kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think a lot of people really get off on seeing other people in dramatic situations. Especially online. I think that's really not healthy or fair or kind to anybody. I don't like to be part of that. And I don't like to feed into that. I think it's really bad, negative energy, and again, it doesn't do anybody good, and it just hurts people more. I don't want to hurt people when there's no point. I mean, like if somebody tried to harm my mother, I'd probably, get angry and do something to protect her, but, or my our other family members. I'd protect them because I care about them. Our panda here, although he's pretty tough, I think he could defend himself. But yeah. So let's continue this game. This horrifying game. Now, I do want to tell you something about my experiences with winter, because in this game, it goes down to 40 degrees, minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, it goes lower than that.
Yeah. Well, I've been in minus 46 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll tell you, it's pretty awful. So let's continue. I do feel a little sorry for the Londoners, but you know what? That's fine.
Don't feel sorry for those traitors.
I don't know. I feel bad for anybody who suffers, but I can't even remember where we left off.
We had people dying by the scores, and we had and it was basically a really dire situation as I remember it.
Mm-hmm.
I confessed to you immediately after. I wasn't sure if I should have.
Yes, our discontent is terrible. I can pause the game, right? Let's pause for a moment and see our situation.
Yes, let's take a look.
Okay, so my discontent is like 80%.
Yep.
My hope is maybe 15%, it looks like. I am doing, Book of Laws, Economy, Construction, Technology Tree. Oh gosh, it's been such a while that I don't really know what to do. oh wait, I have these guys. These guys are out in the top right corner. These guys are out looking for things.
Yes, your scout team.
Yeah, my scout team. Hang on just a sec.
Also, my apologies for peaking mic. I upgraded my computer recently, but for some reason my mic does not like what's going on.
I thought I heard something. It might just be the ghosts from the cemetery coming into the house to get warm. Okay, so Wit says, if I recall, the people were parading a papier-mâché replica of your head on a spike around the town square. Reduce the gain. Okay. Let's see.
Let's see.
All right. I have 3 starving, 71 hungry. All right.
Let's see.
I am not sure what else to do. I am so like. Okay.
Oh no.
So there's our expedition going there, wherever to the sturdy shelter.
Yes.
Okay. 6 hours. I'm low coal.
And
I
you
have
a coal
no
mine, yes?
food rations.
Hey, Mac.
Oh, hey, Mac. I have no food rations. I have 16 raw food. Oh, jeez Louise. I don't have... Now, if I recall, I don't have the greenhouse yet.
You don't have houses? Yeah.
No, I don't have the greenhouse. I have tents.
Oh, the greenhouse. Yeah, you'll want the hothouse.
Yeah, the hothouse.
Which is a very efficient building. But you do need a steam core to run it.
Which is why I sent those people out. I remember. Okay, I was waiting for the steam core to come. Building, build street. Okay, so people. There's child shelter, public house, cemetery. We already have that. Fighting arena and tent. Health, medical post. We already have a couple.
Fighting arenas can help reduce discontent.
Right. I do have one. I did build one, if I recall correctly. Gathering post, sawmill, resource depot, things, tech, steam hub, workshop, beacon. I already have one of those. Watchtower. All right, so maybe I should just let it run for a little bit and see what happens. This is the cookhouse. Okay, I only have one person in the cookhouse. I have 0 workers available. I have
Yeah,
an
because so many of them are dead. Okay,
right.
yes, turn the people against each other. Revel in the bloodshed.
Yeah. We'll get what's his name? Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Maybe I should add an engineer to the cookhouse since I have 11 available, and I probably. Well, I don't know. You said that you only really need one person at the cookhouse.
You need like one or two, but that's pretty much it. Guy, that's, unless you got like a lot of people, you shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
need much.
Watchtower has 2 out of 5 people. Medical post 4 of 5. 4 of 5. Oh, sorry. 4 of 5 down there. That's the arena down here.
Mm-hmm.
It'll open at 19 o'clock, and I am at 8:16. Spectators. Okay. Okay, and that is our steelworks. That is our coal mine. And, but, oh, there we go.
So your coal mine is only at like 50% efficiency, it looks.
And my sawmill. Okay. My sawmill is, oh, everything looks like it's at 50%. But the coal mine is the worst. Or the steelworks. Blah, 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 steelworks. Meh,
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like food is really important right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I
That's
don't
one of the
know
first
that I
things
need
to
all that
focus on
much
is food.
steel. My big goal right now, I feel, is getting that hothouse. Oh, I do
Yeah.
think I have a hunter's hut as well. Do I? That's public house. Hunter's hut. Yep, I have the hunter's hut.
Yes.
Okay, so
I believe we did, believe we did do that, yeah.
my goal is a hothouse. So I need to
Mm-hmm.
make sure I have at least 20 wood, and hopefully I'll have steam core.
Mm-hmm.
Technology tree, steam hub, uh, exploration, more scouts. Resources, food, health, and shelter. Hothouse. That is the thing that I need to get. Medical post upgrade. I don't have enough wood yet. I don't have very much wood at all.
Yeah.
Maybe I should put a little, a little more attention on the wood. Maybe, oh, yeah, because I have sick absences, even though it's fully stocked. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Whatever. All right, I have. And that's 10 people. And that is. Okay, I guess I'll just run it. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Things I can do for discontent. Let's see. All right, so I can't sign any more new laws yet. So I can't do anything that affects that. Economy. Daily gain. I don't think I looked at these before. Workforce. Okay. Okay, so you click on the location and it'll show you all that information.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. There. Okay, there we go. Research goal. I could do a research.
Yes, you always want to have research going as much as
Okay.
you can.
So to start research, I have to go down to the tech tree.
Yes.
Okay.
The tech tree next to the hammer.
All right. All right. Any recommendations?
These do all cost resources, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them you will need you will need what is it? You know, the prerequisites and stuff like that.
Right.
Generator range is always something that I would go for.
Generator range upgrade. Yeah,
And it's the power upgrade you got there.
let's do that.
The one next to it is the range upgrade.
Yeah, generator range upgrade. Okay, let's do
Yep.
that. Okay.
Yeah, range is always important because that way you can heat more people.
Wait a moment. What is going on over here? Oh, is that that place where people were going out into nowhere and now they're
Looks like
coming
it.
back? Oh, I'm gonna wait. I was turning off the generator during the day,
Yes.
so let me do. How do I do that?
You click on the generator
Uh huh.
right in the center,
Mm-hmm. Okay, and
and
then I
then
do
yep,
turn it off.
yep, yeah. There should be a command to turn it off, but you got
Shut
to click on
down.
the generator first. There you go.
Yeah.
Shut down at the very bottom.
Okay, and I'll turn it back on at night,
Yes.
or rather, once everything is in shadow.
Yeah.
Although it is -40. Have you been in a house at minus
Mhm.
40 degrees?
No.
Do you know what happens?
What happens? All your pipes freeze?
Well, if your pipes are, well insulated, that's not an issue. What happens is you start hearing these ping sounds.
Hmm.
And what it is sometimes they'll get so cold that the nails will start popping out of
Really?
the frame of your house.
Hmm.
Now, given usually you have stuff that's, paint and, all kinds of things around so that they don't actually pop completely out.
Yeah.
Um, but they start trying to pop out because it's so cold that it actually affects the metal.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very strange.
Okay.
How many Londoners do I have right now?
You can see it on the right. See where it says Londoners? I think it's 19.
Oh, yes. Oh, right. Search for others, find
Yeah.
others.
Admittedly, some of my view is blocked by your overlay, so.
Ah, yes. Build and man 2 guard stations. I have guard stations, don't I? Well, I have
Did you man them?
watchtowers. Are guard stations different from watchtowers?
Yeah, guard stations are different than watchtowers.
Okay.
So you'd have to build guard stations.
So, watchtower. Where's guard stations?
You can build those. You should be able to build those.
Okay.
Those become available to you under order on the right side there.
Under order. All I see
Okay.
is watchtower.
Uh-oh. You may have to unlock them.
Okay.
Did you sign a law for them?
I
That's a lot
don't
of stuff
think
will get
so.
unlocked if you sign laws.
Ah. Well, I have to wait 20 hours.
But you can still open it and see
Yeah.
if guard stations are there. So click the
Okay.
scales.
All right. And do I go to purpose or adaptation?
You go to purpose.
Mm-hmm. All right. Guard stations. Yep, I haven't unlocked it yet.
Okay, yeah, so you've got to unlock those and then you got to build them, which those will take resources.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. This game is really such a game of hurry up and wait.
Yes, yes it is.
Range upgrade researched. Okay.
Yep, and then it takes resources to research your upgrade,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to pay for the upgrade.
Okay. Mm. Okay. I should probably angry about the cold. We'll have to start heating 5 cold homes within 2 days. Well, I'm gonna turn the generator back on.
Yeah, but you'll have to keep them heated for 3 days, so you can't turn it off during the
Yeah,
day.
yeah. I'm not going to address
Which
it right now.
that'll probably end up causing more discontent than if you just ignored the problem.
Right, right. Well, I'm going to turn it back on. Scouts have reached the sturdy shelter. Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you think I should turn the generator on now since it's almost dark?
probably a good idea
Okay.
if it's enough to get you through the night.
Oh, it says inoperative.
That's why you got to turn it on first.
Okay. Uh, okay. Steam level
Steam level 1, and
Okay.
then click on that.
Got it. Okay.
Yay!
I still have some hope. I
A little
still
bit,
have
not a
hope.
lot.
Discontent is going down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, it is going down. Oh, good. People are hungry, cold at home, bad healthcare, bad food. I have 3 medical facilities. How is that bad healthcare?
Might be people in palliative care that need it.
Oh,
You may need like a care house or something like that.
right. 39 living near a fighting arena, public house, right to duel, temporary modifiers. Okay. A child died, an adult died. Unpopular decision, high discontent, Londoners, vandalism, watchman beaten. 35 living near a watchtower or guard station. Every child is a place in a child shelter. 2 times. Okay. Interesting. Oh, come on. Stop it with that discontent. What are they waiting for? What are they waiting for? Come home. Bring a steam core. Come home.
Steam core!
Steam core!
So you gotta hit explore.
Explore?
Nope, click on the thing. You gotta click on the where your scout team is.
Oh. Explore. The trail leads to another
See the yellow dot? There you go. And then you gotta click explore.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So it says the trail leads to another city.
Yes.
The shelter is comfortable and well equipped with emergency supplies. There is a notice posted by the heavy round door. To all scientists, if you use any supplies, remember to notify the quartermaster upon your return to the city. That means there's another city out there. A signpost by the trail points in 2 directions. London, 1934 miles. Home, 27 miles. Sites discovered. Steel Bridge.
Yep. So what you want to do is you want to click on take the resources.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we'll be bringing home some food.
Yep, so you'll be bringing home wood, food, and a steam core.
Right.
Now, it's not much further, but I highly recommend that you go to the steel bridge next.
Mm-hmm.
You can your resources will all be stockpiled until your expedition comes home.
Okay. So, do I wait until they come home to send out another?
No, what you can do is you can send them to click on Steel Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can click the arrow, the green arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you should get something very, very key.
Okay.
And then what you're gonna get is extremely important. I was hoping you'd be able to get it sooner.
Okay.
So go back to you can mouse wheel up to go back home easier.
Okay. All right. So things are as they are.
There you go. And as long as time goes, they'll go. There are very few situations that I've encountered in FrostPunk where your scout team dies.
Okay. All right. That is good to know.
Yes.
All right, so I can do
So
more.
what'd you have for dinner last night, Jerry?
Okay, I can do more research once it's open again.
Yes. So do what you can, but try and hold out. It'll take time, but there's something extremely important that you will get at the Steel Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Once your scout team gets to the Steel Bridge, and you get the goodie that's there, recall them, and then that way you'll be able to get your resources. Your resources will be added to your totals.
Okay. Nice.
So, for the viewers out there, I felt so bad for Aspen that I ended up making an example play up until the Londoners arc, which is one of like 3 or 4 arcs in the game. And I was like, I hope I wasn't being too patronizing by that, but I'm like,
No.
here's what I would have done and stuff like that. And also, but also, I have foreknowledge of this game because I've already finished the main scenario.
Right. Which is fair enough.
So, yeah, but I wanted to make sure it's like, hey, this is not to say like, look, dipshit, this is how you play the game. No, not like that.
Right.
I wanted to be like, all right, this is all right. Here's how you can make this part of the game that much easier for you and stockpile some
Right.
resources for what's coming next.
Well, one of the things that I think I wish I should have done earlier was send out scouts. I think that
Yes.
would have been helpful if I sent them out earlier.
Sending out scouts is extremely useful and extremely important because what you can do is you can find outposts and build outposts, and then you can use those to get resources every day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can, and there's also a lot of places where you can, find Steam cores on this default difficulty.
Mm.
And
Stop it,
if you're gonna use,
Londoners! Stop it!
eat shit, Londoners.
Darn Londoners. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have at least one relative
Yeah.
or multiple relatives who have lived in London, literally. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No more discontent.
No more. No more discontent. No please. No please. No please. No please.
Just, just, just very nice hope.
Just be here.
Just be hopeful. We have
mildly.
They're only 4.5 hours away, and they're bringing good stuff.
Well, they're 4.5 hours away from the steel bridge.
Right, and then they'll be
And this,
back.
yep, and then they'll be back in like another like half a day or so.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh
ouch.
no!
Oh no.
I don't
Yeah,
have any more.
you don't have any
Coal?
more coal.
Oh my no!
Oh my Lanta. Oh
Oh
no.
my goodness gracious! No, I just wait. What was that? Somebody said something. Somebody said a thing. Maybe
Maybe
they're
they're
discontent
discontent.
because they miss tea time. I mean, tea time is pretty special.
I
Um,
need some hot chocolate while I'm at it.
yeah, hot cocoa, a nice brisk tea, some biscuits. I'm rather fond of Biscoff, as I think everybody who watches me regularly knows. I'm often munching on my Biscoff cookies.
hmm
Um, yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
crispy.
maybe a little cheese toasty, aka a grilled cheese sandwich.
Cheese toasty. I had that
Cheese
tonight, actually.
toasty. Oh, look,
I had
they're
that
getting
some.
back to work at the steelworks.
Yep. I had that in some tomato
Oh,
soup tonight.
yeah. What's going on? I don't want to sow more discontent, but we need the coal mine. Cool down, emergency
It looks
shift.
well. You got 100% efficiency at the coal mine,
Right,
which is good.
okay. Well,
Are
that's
you gonna?
good.
Do you dare?
Oh, scouts have reached the bridge. Wait, scouts have reached the bridge.
Go to the bridge. Go to the
Go to the
bridge.
bridge, go to the bridge. Explore! Explore! A functional automaton! Okay, we stopped at the edge of
Functional
a...
automaton. This is huge.
Okay.
This is a very good thing. Okay, send it to the city.
All right. So wait, let me read this. We stopped at the edge of a deep, wide ravine, marveling at the steel bridge spanning it. It's like the Golden Gate Bridge. Even more so at the huge automatons sweeping snow from the roadway. It would be possible to send the machine back to our city or disassemble it for resources. Send it to
Send
the
it.
city.
Yep. Like I
We
said to all my
programmed
hockey players when I was playing goalie, send it.
to the bridge. Okay, we reprogrammed the automaton and sent it, on its way. As it disappeared in the distance, walking steadily towards our city, the first wisps of snow started to settle on the bridge. All
Yep.
right. And
All
bullet
right. Now
journal.
send your people home.
Okay, and how do I do that again?
Okay. So what you do is you should be able to click on your scouts,
Okay. Oh,
and then click it,
wait.
and then click on this, and then click on your city.
Okay, so click. Wait. Oh, am I out here?
Yep. And then
And then the arrow.
yep, and then the arrow.
Okay. All right, and this is the weather station. Okay.
And then the arrow, and away you go.
Oh no.
And then they'll tell you how much time it's going to take to get to your thing. The weather station, yeah, that's another part. Part of what makes exploration so important is it's also good for lore.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. All right, so finding the bridge to Winterhome proved that we're on the right track, but raised questions. Why was the
Hmm.
bridge deserted? Why wasn't the automaton under the care of an engineer? There are
Hmm.
logical explanations to it all, but people are growing anxious. We'll find out in Winterhome.
Yes, we shall.
Oh no! Give me back my hope. I want my hope!
Hope falls slightly, yeah. Well, at least it was only a smidge.
Yeah, still have a little bit. That's like what, maybe 10%? It doesn't
Hmm.
give me a percentage. Oh god, the hope is so bad. It's gonna take the automaton a day and 17 hours. Why is the automaton so slow?
I don't.
Severe
It's
frostbite.
actually
Oh
it is pretty slow.
dear.
But would you like to know what the automaton does?
Yes, does it help automate a bunch of important stuff?
Yes, exactly. So what you can do is like all 10, basically at your coal mine. If you have 10 people at that coal mine, the automaton will do the work of all 10 of those people, giving you a chance to reassign them.
Okay, nice. All right, so losing a limb. One of our people has had to undergo an amputation. Working in the freezing cold left him with such severe frostbite that there was no other choice. So, in a sense, having the automaton might also help to prevent people from having to work in freezing cold. Oh, what do I do?
Yeah, exactly. You
We
can have
must.
them. At certain parts of the game, it's actually very advantageous to have automata
Mm-hmm.
around, so that way people can stay home and out of the cold.
Okay, so it says consider signing the care house or prosthetics law.
Yeah, the care house is now the prosthetics law. That's going to require a few extra pieces. The
Mm-hmm.
care house is probably going to the care house also gives the maimed a place to go.
Okay. All right. Well, must do something. New
Either way, you're not going to
building.
lose any hope or discontent. It doesn't look.
Right, right. New building, gravely ill are kept alive. In care houses are no longer burden medical posts. Residents of care houses eat half as much. Hope will rise slightly. I will have to build a care house. What do I need for building a care house?
Yeah, I wouldn't sign that yet.
I did.
Oh. Well, hope went up a little bit, but now you gotta.
Care
If you go to
house.
the hammer
Yeah.
and part that's highlighted blue, oh, you can open it right now. That'll give you some. That'll give you some hope points.
Okay, and it needs to be street adjacent.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
so I
remember how
have
to
to
build
build a street.
streets?
No, I do not.
Okay. Try to pick a. Let me see if. Scroll around and see if there's a part that's like adjacent to a street.
Okay.
So see where the green lines are?
Yeah.
That's where you've built streets.
Yeah. But
So go next to that.
do I want it to be that far out? No, that's an
Well,
invalid placement location.
but also you
Okay.
want to make sure that it's see the line there. That's where it's within the heat zone.
Yeah, that's
So
what I was thinking about too.
did you already build one?
No. It said invalid placement. Or
Because
no,
it's right
maybe
on
I
top of
accidentally
another
did.
building.
Wait, I think I
Yeah. All right,
actually
let's go
did.
with that. Hit escape.
Escape. Okay. Okay. There we go. I mean, it's right near the
Yeah, if it's
hunters.
connected to the street, that means it's connected to the generator, so it should be okay. But you do need stuff in that heat zone for it to work. And even if you're in that heat zone, if the heat isn't powerful enough, stuff will close down.
Okay. So I might need to build like another whatchamacallit. One of those heat generators.
Yeah, exactly.
A steam hub.
Yeah, Steam Hub. Now, those use coal as well, and coal's at a premium for us right now.
Right.
So, so that's another decision you've got to make. You have to be
Ah!
coldly, you have to be coldly calculating if you want to succeed in this game.
Okay. Oh dear. So I have to build a care house. I have to build guard stations.
Yep.
Oh. How long
That's
do I
starting to feel like
have? I have a
now it's
day.
starting to feel like my normal days at work. I've nothing but
Right.
stuff to do.
Okay, I have 1 day, 8 hours cooldown, and I have 1 day, 10 hours to build guard station. I'm gonna have to pay very close attention to that book of laws. Oh God, this is gonna be a disaster. All these poor people. I hate how like they'll say stuff in the background and I can't hear what they're saying. Oh jeez.
I think you might be able to if you zoom way, way in.
Yeah.
Hey, Digi. Hey, she chose this of her own
I
volition.
chose it. I'm a completionist. I feel the need to complete. Okay.
An agitated crowd.
The Londoners prey on discontent and agitated crowd. A member of the Londoners is stirring up a restless crowd. He's scaring people into joining the exodus to London. Their discontent with the situation in our city makes his visions of doom all the more believable. So let's see. Let him speak. More Londoners will rise. I can't chase the speaker away because I don't have active guard stations. Craptastic. Oh, that's why I needed the guard stations. Fine.
You can't do anything.
They're gonna be so moated when my scouts come home and bring their automaton. They'll be like, "Oh, you're
automaton, step on them."
Go team automaton. Okay, there's like a little sliver of discontent that went down. And the hope is coming up. I just need to build the care house. And it's building. Wait. Okay. This is... no more discontent, please. Stop it with your discontent. No! Nobody dies! The London movement was ready to overthrow the city and head on out, but then they realized their key flaw meant going back to London. Oh, alternative food source, broken taboo. Sir, a man carrying a tightly wrapped package under his coat raised our suspicions. The package turned out to be full of meat. After some questioning, he admitted to cutting up a dead body. Oh. We are at,
Do you banish him or do you let him go?
Oh. What does that do? Hope will fall if I banish him. Discontent will rise if I let him go. I have to banish him. I can't do more discontent. Like I get it,
discontent's
dude.
almost full.
But we can't be Donner Party here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay, banish him. Wait, what? Okay, we're out of coal. Oh, crab-tastic. We might. Oh, God. Look at how bad that is. Oh, no. Do I have to do the 20? People are furious. I can't send
Oh
guards. We
no.
must hold on for a couple more days.
Oh no. You might be able to bring him down, but you might be able to bring it down once your guys come back.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost here, right?
Almost. Less than 5 hours.
Oh, you've got to bring it down even further. You got to bring it down even further. Oh
I've
boy.
got to bring it down to 75%.
Wow. That's more than last time. Wow. At least I think it's more than last time.
But the automaton
Oh
should.
dear me. Oh no.
Oh. Oh, it just keeps getting worse.
Uh,
It just keeps getting worse.
honey,
Oh my goodness. I think
honey,
it's over. What?
honey, I propose we play some Uno after this.
Okay, we'll play Uno. Uno's nice. We can do Uno.
It's, it's
Or
play
golf. Golf with friends.
golf with friends. Yeah, nice warm days on the course, yeah, on the golf course. Because you don't play golf when it's cold out. Sometimes you do.
We'll meditate together in peace and harmony
Uh,
in the sun.
oh no, honey, I think the long walk is in your future.
Oh, it's a good thing I'm an ice dragon.
Nice dragon, nice ice dragon.
Um, what? Wait, it says discontent is greater than maximum. How is it 103%?
Oh shit.
How is it 104%? How?
No.
But they're almost here. They're bringing food. They're bringing foods. He'll be okay. We have supplies of food. We have supplies of food. Just get through the night, please. Please.
Oh no.
Yes, they've returned.
Well, you want to see this through.
Okay, the scouts have returned.
Okay,
Oh, do I click on that thing?
good. Hang on
Wood
a second. It's not
theft.
showing up on my end yet. Oh my goodness. Okay.
I don't have a guard station.
Yeah, you just hit okay.
What the?
All right, so you got 97 rations.
Okay.
Wood theft.
Wood theft.
30 wood. Ah, we can't do anything. Requires an active guard station. No.
Our city, our home. The generator is down. Everybody's miserable. Kumbaya, my lord. Okay, so what do I do about my scouts?
You can send them out again if you like.
Okay. Any place should I send them to the weather station?
Send them to the east.
East. So to the gloomy cave or the crash site?
Crash site.
Okay. All right. At least I have some hope. There's hope.
There's hope. Just a little bit.
The Londoners gain more following now.
I think everybody's on the Londoners' side.
I know. There's 37 out
How
of
many-
93.
Oh, you've got 93 people in the city. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, squeak.
Greek.
Yeah. We have to get organized. We have to do something. Wait, discontent went down. It's probably because of food?
Maybe the food may have done something. If you have somebody in the cookhouse, he's going to be making food for you right away.
Yes. I have somebody in the cookhouse.
It may be a little too cold for it to operate, but
And it's an engineer, so they have a gourmet chef.
yeah. You needed the laughs.
She's like, I love hanging with you guys. I needed the laughs. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you that my trauma is giving you laughter.
I was gonna, I was gonna say, maybe it's not the best thing for it. Maybe this is Schadenfreude.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, why did everything bad have to happen at once?
Sounds
I
like me at
have
my
wood.
job.
Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, so I have a steam core. I need coal. Okay, wait.
You might have the resources to build that hothouse.
Yes, I do. Oh my god. Hothouse. Food. Hothouse. Where do I put it? There? Should I put it closer to the generator?
Yes, put it as close to the generator as you can.
Okay, I may need to
and
make
then
a
you'll have to
street
build
then. I may need to build it. How do I make a street?
Okay, so what you're gonna do is there's gonna be like a bunch of lines on top of the
Right.
on top of where you built the hothouse.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm a little behind, so
Oh, yeah. That's okay. And we do have an ad break coming soon.
yes,
I'm ready for karma to hit me the minute I turn on my PS5.
yeah,
Discontent is going down. Hope's not great, but discontent
yeah.
is going down.
That's what we need is for the discontent to go down. Otherwise, we're
Yes.
deposed.
All right, so how do I make the street? I can't
Okay.
remember.
So there's like a bunch of lines that'll be above the building icon.
Above the building icon.
Yeah, once you build it,
Oh, so I can
or
build
once
it
you
and then
once
I
you
make the
place it
street.
down. Yeah.
Okay. And it's this top one.
Wait 1 second, I
Building
can't see yet.
streets.
Yep. So you see those lines over the temperature
Yes.
icon?
Yes.
Yep. And then what you do is you connect you connect the grids. So
Okay.
see where there's green in the inner ring there?
Yes.
So click and drag,
Okay.
and you want to wait, and you want to extend it until the little box where your thing is. Yeah, that's green,
Yeah.
and you want to click.
Okay.
There you go. It should be good.
All right. Hot house. Hot house.
House.
Yay!
Hot
Yay!
house. Hot house.
And then I have to build the guard stations.
Guard station.
Oh my gosh! And my coal. We're getting coal. Okay. So we've got plenty of wood, so I can make. Wait, did I? Oh, this is the care house. It is being. Does this mean it's being built?
I'm a little, like I said, I'm a little behind you, so I don't really know.
Or is it too cold for anything to be done with it?
It can be built, but if you see like a red temperature indicator, that means it's too cold for the building to operate.
Okay. Multiple problems. Too cold. This building must. Yeah, everything's too cold. That's
Yeah.
because the generator's down.
Yes.
Do I have enough?
You do have people. You do have coal, right?
I have 93, 94, 95, 96, almost 100 coal.
Okay. Yeah. Turn the generator on.
Okay. That's my discontent. It's not telling me it's over 100%, so at least that's good.
It's not 100%. It's not 100%.
It's not 100%. Yay! Not 100%. Yay! Citizen became.
Where's that damn automaton?
It's 16 hours away. We need that automaton for the coal mine. I think that's the most important thing, because the automaton can do it 24 hours.
Yeah,
right?
and it can, and it mostly disregards temperature.
Okay.
So.
All right. I'm surviving. It's okay. It's good.
Well, the good news is you got only 7 people hungry.
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's 6.
I'll put an engineer in my hothouse.
Yeah, and once
On
that
the other
hothouse
side.
gets working, not all of your food problems will be solved, but a
A
lot
lot
of
of
them
them
will be.
will. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry you're all eating raw food, but you know, them's the breaks when you're poor. I'm sorry.
We are in an ad break right now, so those of you who are not subscribed, like me, even though I'm a mod, I don't get exemption from the ad breaks,
Yes.
which
Yes.
sucks. Hey,
Oh,
LT.
LT's here. Our child.
Yes,
What did I?
yes.
Actually, yeah, I was thinking this weekend you were working on your computer. I'm like, this computer is our child now. Oh dear. Guard
Jeez.
stations. Okay. Guard stations, guard stations, guard stations, guard stations, guard stations, guard stations. I have to wait 7 hours.
I almost called myself an admin, which I am an admin, but
Oh, discontent will rise slightly. It'll raise the hope of people living nearby.
yeah.
Wait, it lowers discontent and raises hope, but it also says discontent. Well, right.
I'm sorry you're all eating raw food, but it's been sushi Sunday for 3 days. But the sign said all you can eat.
What is the raw beef meal? Steak tartare. It's all steak tartare.
Yeah.
Steak tartare is nummy. Alright, I'm gonna close this. It'll be soon. To be soon. Better than eating each other, true. We'll get there.
Definitely.
Okay. Oh, great.
Okay. Oh, great.
People are dying in the street. I have, like... I have multiple medical facilities. What is the problem? I
Maybe
don't...
there's, like, not enough of them?
I have,
well,
like, 3
one
or
of them isn't the
4.
thing.
Are
If it
they
was
not...
me, I'd be signing the overcrowding law. So,
Overcrowding law?
yes, you can basically cram people in like sardines in medical facilities. Open an infirmary right away.
What do I do?
You might have to open that infirmary.
Oh. But, like, I have...
Bad news, they're all HMOs.
Okay. Oh.
You can't afford to riot. You can't afford to have discontent rise. So,
infirmary, health. I have medical posts and care houses. Infirmary, infirmary, an entirely different thing.
yeah, it is.
Oh, crabtastic. Thanks. Thank you, this game. Thank you for being so generous with your kindness. Am I playing this on hard mode?
No, this is the default difficulty. Well, if it makes you feel any better, it was my 3rd playthrough that I beat this game at. So.
Okay. I'm just glad these aren't real people. I apologize, fake people.
I apologize to real people, but...
Yeah. I would hate for real people to go through this. Oh my gosh. I never... I mean, you know, like, I hope my distress entertains people. At least there's that. What is going on over here? Oh, is that just the end of the street? Wait. Yep, that's just the end of the street. I have never looked at any of this close. There's the public house. Okay, everything looks so bleak. So I have. Oh, jeez. Uh,
There we go. Turn my RGBs back on.
oh, automaton, dear.
Oh, Winter, you have this
Automaton,
game? Oh boy.
please come and fix our problems.
Mhm.
Automaton, automaton. They're waiting at the crash site. Fate of the Forgotten.
Mhm.
There are plenty of priceless supplies in the wrecks of our expedition. Searching among the crates scattered in the snow behind the wrecks, we found the bodies. They're tangled together in a single frozen mass, as if these people are trying to find at least a bit of warmth just before they died. We can do nothing for them, not even bury them. Well, I'm going to take those resources.
Wood and raw food. Very good.
Anything else I need to do? Just have them come
Just take
home.
take the resources, and if you can, see if you can either choose your next destination, or you can send them back to the city with their resources.
And let's bring them home. Let's bring them home.
Bring the boys back home.
Oh, goodness. We're almost out of heating. Can we throw wool or wood in there? Like, yeah,
Into the generator.
we have enough wood.
I was gonna. Unfortunately, it runs only on coal.
Well, that's stupid. Who decided that?
Nobody knows who built these generators. Actually, you know what? I think the British Army built these generators in the universe.
Severe frostbite. Great. Well, that's wonderful. I didn't turn down the temperature to negative 60 degrees Celsius.
Mhm. Oh wow, you're pretty deep into this game if it's getting that cold.
I mean, I guess I've lasted a while.
You have.
Yeah. But mild frostbite. I'm sorry about all the frostbite. Oh my gosh! Wait! Guard station. Guard station. Guard station. Guard station. Guard station. Guard
Guard
station.
station. Guard station.
Discontent is too high.
You can't build a guard station because the discontent is too high?
Yes, it is
What?
at 107%.
No, oh no, not the 107% rule.
I'm trying to. It's 113%. Hope is so low.
Oh no. Oh
I
no.
think it's the end for me. I don't even
I
have
think
my
it was a
automaton
good
yet.
run. Honey, it was a good run. You did good. I do not blame you.
Okay, I tried.
There's
Yeah,
not much you can do.
guard station's not built. No, I just want to build the
Uh,
guard stations. Hope
Oof.
is gone.
Panic!
Panic! Running circles on the way.
Oh no!
There's.
Panic! Oh
Oh
no!
no, what
Oh,
is
no.
this? Another theft? I can't do anything! I know, right? LTE, we should be able to turn the wood into charcoal. The Londoners gain more followers, of course, as half the people. Fine. Despair.
Another theft. There's nothing you can do.
There's nothing I can do. There's cities that may have fallen, but not London. It's impossible. I wonder if our captain really has a plan.
There,
Yes! Yes!
LT, there is a there is a building you can make that turns the forest stuff into charcoal.
Automaton is here! Okay, what do I do? How do I use the automaton?
Oh, there he is. Okay.
No!
Okay. So here's what you do.
Okay.
You you can click. What you can do is you click on a building,
Okay.
and then see where it says automatons.
Oh, not
Turn it
yet.
on.
But I have people are angry about thefts. Prison. Okay, I'll just pretend. Okay, click on a building. Workers. Wait, you said what?
Okay, so what you do is underneath all the workers, it says automaton off or on. Click on, and that should replace all the workers.
Wait. Where?
No, general.
General.
And where you see where it says automatons?
General. Automatons. On! Oh, I'm afraid. I don't want to look at that. Do I have to look at that?
Your promise fulfilled.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just the automatons. Okay.
Yeah, see, and now that it's warm and you can use it, that's when your stuff starts to go.
Discontent is going down. Okay.
Okay, click on it. You can't ignore it.
Wait.
Oh, it's using automatons. Okay.
Yeah. I need to.
There's a few things you can staff. Discontent.
Okay.
Oh, you could rescue this.
All right. I can add more people.
You can rescue this, honey.
Works. Okay, I have an automaton
see what you. Okay, now that your discontent's lower, try signing a law.
Signing a law.
Yeah, sign the.
Purpose. Guard station.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sign the guard station law.
Okay. Discontent has gone up, but hope has gone up too. Build a guard station. Where do I put my guard stations?
Where would you like to put it?
Oh. Order. Guard station. Should they be near the center of town? Should they be on the edge? What are your
wherever you want to
thoughts?
wherever you want to put it. It doesn't necessarily. The only thing that matters is where it is in relation to the generator and streets.
Okay, so there's a street right here, so I can build it right here. Is that a good place?
It has to be adjacent to a street. There you go. You've got a street there. That's perfect.
Okay, and then maybe here. Another one.
There you go.
Another one.
Oh, you have to build 2 of them. Okay.
I have to build 2. Over here? Okay. I need to open a new infirmary. So that's the next law.
There you go. And then... yeah, and the infirmary is what you need. That will really lower discontent. It should.
Right.
Check your tech tree.
Tech tree. Okay. Food, health, and shelter. Medical post upgrade?
That wouldn't yield an infirmary.
Okay, so I am not at...
Check under, food, health, and shelter.
Yeah, it's under drafting machines.
Let's see.
I need to upgrade, I guess.
Yeah, you need to get level 2 there. The good news is it looks like you have the resources to do it.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you'd have to click upgrade.
Okay. All right. Oh, I can turn the generator back on? Mm-hmm. I'm like squeaking. Mm-hmm. Can I do it? Okay.
It's like you don't have a lot of time to get that.
My people are waiting. I can send them places. There's a gloomy cave, there's a large convoy, and there's a weather station.
The choice is yours. I would say probably the gloomy cave might not have a lot of resources, but the weather station might be better.
Yeah.
Or the large convoy. The large convoy might have more resources.
Well, I'll send to weather station. That'll have to do.
Okay.
Discontent is going down. Or is that going up? No, it looks like it's going down. I have managed to placate our people. Hope rises. Oh my gosh! It's a
Discontent
miracle!
falls. Did you pull it out?
I think
You
I
did
did!
it. You pulled it out there, honey.
Oh my god! I feel like I just.
cannot believe it.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. I'm
It's like
gonna.
the third time you've done that in this play.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can add more people to the hothouse. Is that a good idea? You think?
Yeah, you can add a couple more people to the hothouse. It's
Okay.
probably the good idea.
Okay. Let's go. Okay. Fine. What's going on? One of our people is facing death, but he's still refusing amputation. He keeps screaming that he doesn't want anyone to touch his leg, and he won't change his mind, even though gangrene will kill him in a matter of hours. Oh god, that's so sad. This person will be
This
left as an amputee.
This one sucks, I will totally admit. Song from Die Hard's Vault Scene plays.
Right.
I think it's Beethoven's ninth.
I think so.
Because I believe the fifth is...
Okay, this person will be left as... But they'll be really angry.
Mm-hmm.
And they might join the Londoners. But will the Londoners want an amputee? Oh, God. What do I do? He wants to die.
Well, I mean, he wants to... Yeah, you can either let him die, which means you lose a worker, or... do you want me to spoil it?
I don't know. Okay, help me decide. I don't know.
He's gonna die regardless.
Yeah.
So you can either he'll die later because he's gonna feel useless for losing a limb, or you just let him die of gangrene.
I'll let him be.
So he's either gonna commit suicide or die of gangrene.
Okay.
Unless I think the only way you could save him is if you had the factory.
The temperature went up. I think this game makes me slightly mad. Okay.
Yeah, the temperature went up, which is part of the reason why the discontent went down as much as it did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so we've got technology trees running. Book of Laws has a cooldown, so I can't do anything about the infirmary yet. Building prison, is that a law thing too?
That would probably be something you have to decide. Check your laws, because remember, I didn't play Order in my playthrough.
Right.
I played Faith, which is against type for me.
Okay, prison is down here. So yes, I'm gonna have to sign prison into action.
Patrol, yeah, you need to sign a prison.
And I still have to do the
prison.
infirmary.
You send you to Canada.
So, infirmary. Oh God, I'm not going to be able to make the infirmary in time, aren't I?
Potentially, you can. Because you see the white bar. You see that bar across the top there. Of the.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how much time you have left.
Yeah, I have 1 day left, and I have 1 day 3 hours before I can. Or no. I have to wait until the tech tree is done.
Yes.
Okay. What?
So what do
Oh,
the people want? What do the people want?
I don't want to click on it. I don't want to click on that either. Okay. Painful death. Patient who refused the amputation just died of gangrene. We did our best to ease his pain, but he suffered.
It was his choice. He died of gangrene. We did our best to ease his pain, but he suffered terribly in the end.
Oh, I need...
It was his choice. You know what? You can't afford to have discontent rise anymore, so I'd say Oh,
Yeah, let him speak, chase the speaker away.
yep. Or disperse the crowd.
I'll chase the speaker
Which do you like?
away. Too right, that'll stop him from leading our people astray. This'll stop him from infecting others with his madness. Okay.
You're right. This'll stop him from leading our people astray.
How dare he? Oh, I have only 1 hour left on the generator, but the automaton is working full time, right?
I believe so, yes. It has to go to the generator to refuel every once in a while. But,
That's why it's walking toward the generator right now.
hmm yeah, see how you can't do 24-hour shift?
Mm-hmm.
hmm
It's a 14.4 hour shift.
hmm hmm Well,
Okay.
it's yielding 14.4 coal per hour.
Okay. Take care of the ill. The duel is taking place. I just want to get that hope up. Can I ever get it back up again? At least to 50%? Discontent is going down though.
hmm
It's good.
It's very good. You're on day 25, I think. You're actually not doing too bad. Ooh, the discontent went way down.
Mm-hmm. Someone was injured
Oh,
during a
wow.
duel.
This is like the third time you've pulled it out of the hat. I'm gonna have to start calling you Rasputin, hun.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, our little automaton friend, are you... Or Donde está usted?
Okay, so Digi, I'm gonna guess that this is a typo. He says, "I still have to convince a friend of mine it's a Christmas movie." He keeps arguing it. You can alter it to be any season. Um, Now Aspen and I watched Die Hard together. She had never seen it, and what did you think? Are you believe it's a Christmas movie? Die Hard's a Christmas movie, right, Aspen?
Yeah. There were elements, I think... I mean, certainly there were elements of the movie where if you took them away, it wouldn't make a difference. But, I think part of the whole point in why there was all that dramatic stuff between, you know, Bruce Willis's character and his wife, it's
hmm
probably because a lot of times a lot of feelings get exacerbated by the holidays.
Yes.
Because it's supposed to be a time of togetherness,
hmm
and a lot of times families will get together, but they will also argue over a lot of stuff um, on holidays because
hmm
everybody's together.
Yeah.
Um, so, in some ways, I think because it took place during Christmas, that exacerbated the problems.
Yeah. Now that is a view that I don't think anybody else I've talked to in this debate has said it.
Super therapist
Um,
girl.
Digi says he thinks you can tell the same exact story if it was set on Halloween or Valentine's Day or any day. And there is truth to that. However, that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about the movie as it is. We are not talking about what the movie could be. That's irrelevant.
Right.
We are talking about what the movie is. And the answer is Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It's set at Christmas.
Right. Okay, the automaton is back at work, but the generator is shutting down. I still have heat from the generator, though. So
For a
maybe
little bit.
I'll wait until the coal builds up a little bit. Why are the Londoners gaining more followers? What the heck is going on? I'll build the infirmary. Darn it. Other cities may have fallen, but not London. Oh, shush.
I'm with you guys, but he's one of those where, well, you ever see the Family Guy gag where the donkey keeps saying Kevin Bacon wasn't in Footloose? Oh, one of those guys.
Mm. Yeah, I think, especially because, Halloween is not necessarily a holiday where people are getting together with their family and doing, it doesn't have the same tension around it with family experiences and communication, that, like I maybe Die Hard could work as a Thanksgiving movie, for example,
Hmm.
you know but holidays like those where people actively travel to visit family. I think holidays like that are the ones where I think it makes sense for this movie, because the issue is he is not there. He's not with his family, and or at least to his wife, like she feels like in a way he's kind of abandoned them.
Hmm.
So, and there's kids involved. He brings a present
Yeah.
in that car. So I don't know. I think this is, yeah. I think it makes sense as a Christmas movie.
Your discontent dropped again. What is the secret sauce there, dear?
I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm just, yeah, and you're right, Digirama. It's at a Christmas party. How many holidays do businesses have huge parties like that for?
Hmm.
Like, it would either be some kind of big business thing, or it would be for Christmas.
Hmm.
You don't have major parties for Thanksgiving at work, or for Halloween at work. I don't know. It's just not as common. All right, we're almost. Oh, the tech tree. Come on, tech tree. Come on. Discontent is going back up. Come on.
I got it back down to about 50%. Oh, man, that's a big jump.
Yeah. Meh. Okay. All right. Somehow we're still surviving.
Yeah. Somehow, some way. And that's what this that's what this game is all about, survival.
Oh, wait. The cookhouse. We need a person. I'm going to add a person because somebody died. Guard station.
The cookhouse.
We need a person.
It's inoperative.
Guard station.
Guard station requires at least one worker.
Okay, well, I have
Yeah, use those
nobody
engineers. You
left.
don't have anybody else. Yeah, and you're gonna have
Yeah.
even less people in a little bit once the Londoners, if you don't manage to turn back some Londoners.
Yeah. Oh, we have less Londoners now.
Oh,
Did they
they went
die?
down.
It was at 44.
Oh, it's now. Oh, now it's down to 40. Okay, good.
How did that happen? I have no idea. I know if I can't get that infirmary open, it'll be an issue.
Yeah,
It'll be a big issue.
but that
99%.
discontent will drop like a stone if you can get that infirmary open. At least it should.
I can't.
I hope.
I have to do the medical. I can't do that until I do the medical post upgrade. Uh,
Infirmary. Do you not have the resources? Oh, you need to get medical post upgrade before you can get infirmary. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it.
okay. Well.
It's level 1. That research shouldn't take that long.
Is it 3%?
I hope not. I hope not, anyway.
That one guardian beat S people up. Seems nice to me.
I was gonna say you need people with batons and stuff like that to whack the Londoners into submission.
Can my automaton make other automatons?
I wish they could reproduce asexually, but
God.
I know that I don't know that one guard named beat us people up. So he seems nice to me. Hey, Mystic.
Hey, Mystic, how are you?
Yeah, I said on I did say something on Blue Sky. Also, my mod view says swimming link is here.
Oh, hi, swimming.
Not gonna
Also
ask
not gonna.
questions because I don't know what you already said about it, but I hope your mother's well. Oh,
Yeah. She's okay. We're just concerned. I mean, my mom went several hours not. Yeah. Great. We'll get the hope back up. We'll get it back up.
oh, healthcare promise broken. Oh boy.
Well, at least we can build a prison.
They're going to
Right.
build a prison. They're going to build a prison. They're going to build a prison for you and me to live in.
Yeah. Yeah. So, human mother does have a neurological appointment coming up. So that's kind of the big thing right now. Um, yeah. No!
No. Man, I'm dead. Can my automaton make other automatons? Well, if you got Barry White playing over the speakers. Angry about the cold. Oh, jeez.
But I have the automaton. I can't do this. I can't. I don't have enough yet.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry, people. Your discontent will just have to grow. But look, we have food. We have food.
Food. At least we got food. At least we got food.
Okay, I can do the prison really soon. Oh, fibro's not easy. I was actually talking with a patient at the Dragon Clinic recently who she was diagnosed with fibro, but she doesn't think she actually has it. She thinks it's something else. But
Okay.
yeah. Okay, Book of Laws. Come on. Let's make a prison. 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 I need a prison. There we go. Sign. Discontent will rise. I don't care.
I will say that who is it? System of a Down got me interested in social justice.
I don't care where the prison is. Let's put it... No, not near the care house. Let's put it here.
Lock them up, all of them.
Okay.
In this case, I think we want the prison to be cold.
Yeah, maybe they don't deserve the warmth. Why are we stressing, LT?
So here's the deal. You don't become you denounce the Londoners, we let you go free. You say that you support the Londoners, you continue to support the Londoners, you go into the prison and you rot.
Right. That's how it'll be. So it's under construction. We got some workers there. Okay. Got a prison. I can at least fulfill a promise there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I can still build an infirmary. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be the promise, but...
Any kind of promise usually wins you goodwill with the
Right.
citizenry. Some might say goodwill, others might say brownie points, but
Right. I mean, at the very least, I can build the infirmary, and that'll help something.
Mm-hmm.
Health. Okay, so I need to, after the whole prison thing is ready, I can... yeah.
Oh, that was wind. And and it is windy out there. It's been windy all day.
You mean where
See.
you are, or?
Yeah, where I am.
Okay.
It's been nothing but wind. It's been sunny but windy.
We're out
One
of
of the colder
coal.
starts to the year that I can remember in recent memory. Make a free ice cream law. Nobody hates free ice cream, or in these people's cases, free ale.
Oh, I need
It's like,
to. I need a worker for my
oh no,
prison.
oh no.
What's oh no? Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, it won't count unless you staff it. So just take it from
Right.
somewhere.
I'll take somebody from the hunter's hut because now we have a.
Now you have a hothouse.
Yeah. Hope
Actually, let me take other
rises!
people.
Hope rises!
It's the little things.
Yeah,
It's the little things.
I guess so.
Exactly what I was thinking, Digi. Or paints a free beer sign while a frog sings Michigan Rag.
Hello, my baby.
Everybody do.
Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime
Everybody do the
gal.
Michigan Rag. Everybody likes the Michigan Rag.
I don't have a cookhouse. I need to reassign a cookhouse person. I did not fail them. I'm trying. I'm sorry people are dying, but I don't know what. Hunter's hut. Oh, I didn't realize I have 2 hunter's huts.
You may not need two, but it's probably a good idea to keep two open just because you need food.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do, 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 do.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the medical post. Yeah, it's going to take forever. At least 8 hours. Which is not forever. It's just 8 hours. It'll be good.
But also, you have to remember that they have working hours too. So if it's not in working hours, it's not gonna go anywhere.
Right. Do I want to wait a little bit longer?
Do you want to wait a little longer?
Mm. I'm going to wait until it gets to 100 and then I'll turn it on again. So
Yeah.
93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98.
Yeah, it's gonna take forever. Here's chance of
99,
union just before Tom's servo
100!
launches.
Steam up! Generator! Yay! Okay. I do not want to be a particular company that people are striking against. Ooh, they're at the weather station. Explore the weather station.
Let's see what's at the weather. Let's see what's at the weather
We
station.
found scientist notes. They predict the great cold is going to get much worse. What's more troubling is that the observations ended abruptly months ago. There's not a can of Spam, not even a crumb of bread left in the pantry. It's obvious they've moved out for good. We can see the city of Winterhome from the roof of the weather station. Winterhome coal mine. Take resources. And that's some coal and a thingamahooset.
Thingamahooset? Steam core.
Steam core. Oh, should I go to Winterhome?
That's up to you. Winterhome, earlier in the game, it won't hurt you in terms of hope and discontent like it would have earlier in the game when the guy came and said Winterhome has fallen. So you can go to Winterhome and you should be, and I don't know what's there. That's the thing.
Well, there is the opportunity to go to a coal mine.
Which the coal mine could be useful because I believe that's one of the outposts you can set up.
Okay. Let's go to coal mine. No. Why must you?
Why must you?
The recent report from the weather station has got people talking. They're frightened that such an important facility was apparently abandoned. Some are starting to wonder whether the evacuation from London was a good idea. A few are lamenting openly. I knew we shouldn't have come. At least London had real houses, not tents and wooden shacks. I'll have answers soon enough. I'm sorry. Just don't discontent on me now, please.
It'll tell you if discontent rises, I think.
Yeah.
Hope will fall slightly. Okay, that wasn't that much.
Not bad. Not bad at all. With my terrible British accent. So, yeah, we really need to get you to watch Red Dwarf. I think you have the kind of sense of humor that would appreciate it.
Okay. You said it was on BritBox?
BritBox, yeah.
Oh, it's a British sitcom. Okay, that's why it's on
Yes.
BritBox.
So it's about pretty much it's a story of this guy who I think he wakes up from cryogenic sleep or something on a ship. It's been a long time since I've watched it, but he doesn't realize how long he's been asleep.
Oh.
And while he's been asleep, he's the only human left on this ship, the Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
And there is like an android hologram type guy named Rimmer.
Okay.
And there is a cat who is no longer a cat, but a cat in humanoid form because he's evolved just that much.
I can think of worse. I can think of worse fates.
Yeah. So the cat has evolved into a human form. Yes. Digirama said David Lister is the guy who comes off as the last guy you'd want to be the last guy on Earth, and is now the last known human in the galaxy. So yeah, Lister is the main, pretty much the main character. He's the guy who guard station. Okay, cookhouse.
And David Lister is the guy who comes off as the last guy you want to be the last guy on Earth, is now the last known human in the galaxy. Oh boy.
He is very regular dude.
Okay.
Like, he is the guy who will how would somebody from England describe? He's the guy who will go out for a beer and then get kebabs or maybe a curry and hang out with his friends at the local pub. Like, he's like Miles O'Brien if Miles O'Brien was incompetent. I think that's the best way I can describe him with Star Trek references. He's a fun character. He's any guy. All right, so Digirama says he gets punished for smuggling a cat he won at a poker game. Don't ask. To be frozen, only for a superior, Arnold Palmer Rimmer, to screw up the drive plate so bad the ship has to be deradiated for 3 million years. Yeah.
Dungeon.
Return your tools. Okay. I'll be back in 4 hours. No! I don't want to click on that. Ugh. The number of
You gotta click on it. Otherwise, they'll run the Londoners prey on discontent.
Chase the speaker away.
Chase the speaker away. Kill him! Kill him!
So I feel like essentially there's a timing to this game, and you want to get certain things done at a certain point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I highly recommend Red Dwarf if you like British humor.
All right. Well, I do enjoy British humor.
I feel like it has some of the feel of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but it's a little more comedic and I don't want to say lowbrow, but it's, I don't know. The cat is the best character. I'm just going to say that. I love the cat.
Hmm.
I mean, you know, I love cats. Um,
Oh yes.
but the cat is, oh my god, he's pretty much, oh, how do you describe him? He is like, he feels like a 1960s,
Hmm.
like like Barry White music kind of. uh I don't know how to make that make sense, but yeah, he's a
Yeah.
character. Sir, a group of drunk men were disturbing the peace, pushing each other, screaming obscenities, and harassing women in the street. Our guards intervened and restrained the drunks before anyone was hurt. Let them sober up or punish him.
Punish them.
I care more about hope.
Hmm. Okay.
I
People
care
may
more
get hurt.
about hope.
Discontent will fall slightly. Which would you want more?
My discontent I'm not as worried about. And it already went down, but I want hope.
Oop.
Scouts have reached the coal mine! Yes! Explore.
Oh, LT, are you sick? Or did you do me and do a me and you screwed up your Rene Auberjonois impersonation?
Oh boy. This has a
Well,
lot of good stuff. Do
yeah,
I take only this?
but
We'll be able
also
to
you need to get plenty of resources. We won't be able to restart the mine anymore, or you can take the stored coal and then you can restart the mine and have coal come to you.
Let's do that. We need more coal.
Yeah, you'll need to set up a separate outpost team or something like that. But you've always been struggling for coal in this game, so
Yeah,
yeah,
so we need the
something to keep in
coal.
mind. Yeah.
Right. We have coal!
Children are our most precious resource. Even more important than coal?
Yeah, right now, children, the children can cheer for coal.
Yeah.
That's actually what they want in their Christmas stockings now is coal. That's a
For
sign that
some
your parent
reason,
loves you.
my colleague found a literal lump of coal on campus someplace, and he keeps it in his office.
That's random. Okay. All right.
I don't know. I'm doing a little bit of a makeover of my office because the guy before me was a little dramatic and always had like a privacy screen over his over the window in his office door, and he had like the
Mm,
three upside down apple um logos, because upside down flag denotes distress and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
So I took the veil off and I took the upside down um apple stickers off, and I'm gonna replace it. If I can get somebody to make a sticker for me, I want to have I want to have like a window cling on my office door that says "Welcome to Macintosh," like the old Macs used to.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for there was a time when I worked at a business college and I was the oh, what was I doing there? I was the well, I had a few jobs there.
mhm.
I worked as the tape lab monitor. They taught court reporting and medical assisting, and I was the tape lab monitor, so I kept track of all the tapes that the students could use to practice with
Mhm.
on their stenography machines.
Yeah.
And what was going on? I worked the front desk, and then um, I was responsible for all the records, all the student
Mm.
records.
Yeah.
And I had an office, and it was kind of interesting to. I had to fix up all the stuff that the person before me left behind, but the person there still worked there, and I discovered there was a lot of missing stuff that she hadn't taken care of.
Oh.
So, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry you're sick, LT. It's hard, you know. I have my. Oh, just a moment. That reminds me. I should have my humidifier on
Mm-hmm.
because my throat gets dry really easily this time of year.
Yeah, it's very dry out, so I think I should
Yeah.
turn the humidifier on in my place in my room before I get going, before I go to bed tonight.
Yeah, yeah. I usually keep the one in my room running, like, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. How dare it get colder?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, they're eating raw food. I'm so sorry, people. But look, it's daylight soon. You'll have some sun. That, that'll be nice. You just gotta hold on. We must work harder, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have run out of people working at... Oh, there's 13 available. Okay. Why do I suddenly have all these people available?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Well, I'll put them in jobs, I guess. Guard station? Oh, guard station? No residents. Let's, what can I do here?
Mm-hmm.
Digiranma's serenading us.
Yeah.
Love, fun, fun, fun in the sun, sun, sun.
So,
We're out of coal. No, you're supposed to be work. Automaton work.
why are you making? Oh my goodness, there's got to be something we can do to. I've never had this much trouble with just one coal mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not great. Tis not great. Now,
No.
the generator probably needs to be on in order for the automaton to recharge, right?
Um, that's a very good question, actually.
Hmm. Why are people dying? Stop dying.
Mm-hmm.
Sawmill. Oh, goodness. Help the amputees. Sir, a doctor wants to talk to you about improving radical treatment. I want a field surgeon in the Boer War. Oh, I was a field surgeon in the Boer War and worked with the Royal Society to reduce the rate of limb loss at army hospitals. I believe I can devise a method that will cut the number of amputations during radical treatment.
This is
This,
actually a very good thing to have. I've scored
yeah.
it before.
Yeah, give him what he needs. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's minus 70.
Minus 70 Celsius, meaning it's colder in Fahrenheit.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Oh,
Yeah,
dear, oh,
there's like
dear, oh,
nothing but
dear.
benefits though to let him. There's nothing but benefits to letting him do his thing though.
Mm-hmm. Consumption. Building. Steam hub. Steam hub. General. A little bit of the... Well, I'm gaining... Oh, alright, I'll wait for the coal. Oh, it's going back to work. Is it? It is! Medical post... Oh, yes! Yes! Upgrade research. Yes. Okay. Infirmary. Okay.
Yep, the 6 will recover 10% faster at medical posts.
I don't know how I've managed this.
Steam heated
I'm.
infirmary with 10 beds.
Mm. All right, I'm gonna turn the generator back on.
This is actually really important. This is actually really impressive.
I
It's not
don't
just important, it's impressive.
I don't know how I'm doing this. A childhood of scavenging. I have learned to go without, so I know how to survive. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Ugh. People are dying in the street. Yes, I can do an infirmary now.
Yay! Infirmary.
It'll be done in 9 hours, and then I can build the infirmary. I can fulfill the promise. Ah! How long do I have to take care of? Okay, yeah, I'll be able to do it. It will be okay.
Do you think you have a law that you can sign?
Ooh, yes. Right. Okay, what are we looking? It says adaptation or purpose.
You might want an adaptation law at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. So I signed overcrowding. Alright, so Moonshine, House of Pleasure, extended shift. Already did all that. Okay. Organ transplant. So my options are prosthetics, triage, Moonshine, House of Pleasure, extended shift. I'm not concerned about extended shift right now. Hope will fall slightly. No. We need hope. Every meal slightly lowers discontent. Eating soup causes less discontent. It could be helpful.
Yeah, maybe the moonshine will be. Yeah, I think I don't see any downsides to the moonshine.
Yeah, hope will fall with triage, prosthetics. Amputees will be able to work again. That's also useful.
But you need to build a factory to build those prosthetics.
Yeah, let's do moonshine first. I certainly hope people enjoy their liquor in moderation. Oh, there's an ad break coming up.
I'm Bender, baby. Please insert liquor. Oh, so there is some bad news that I just got today.
Oh no.
The Girl Scouts are discontinuing the s'mores cookies.
Oh. If you said they were discontinuing the Thin Mints cookies, I would
Oh,
die.
the Girl Scouts would fold in 3 months if they
Yeah.
discontinued the Thin Mints.
Oh, they would. It would be horrible.
It would bring nothing but ruin to the
Yeah.
Girl Scouts.
Yeah, yeah. What are they selling this year? I feel like there was something that they had made that they discontinued last year. Was it the raspberry one?
Are you talking about the ones that they're discontinuing?
Yeah, well, the ones that they discontinued last year. I mean, they're going to keep the best sellers. Like, they're going to keep the Samoas. They're going to keep the Thin Mints. What are the other good ones that they usually... Is it the trefoils? The
trefoils, yeah, the trefoils are like the trefoils, the Thin Mints, and like the do-si-dos, I think, are like are getting discontinued. Let's see, but yeah, the s'mores and toastier cookies are being discontinued.
The lemon ones were really good.
Yeah, the lemonades or lemon ups.
Oh gosh, there's 2 different ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
the
remember.
trefoils.
They were the lemon ones. The scouts have returned safely to the city. Yes.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we needed that so badly. Okay.
The coal?
The coal. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, there's a coal mine here.
Yep. And now you gotta find a way to. Now you got to. I think you got to go to the beacon in your
To the
city.
beacon. To the
You can first of all
beacon.
send your scouts out if you like.
Okay, where do I send them to,
It's your choice.
though? Gloomy cave, large. Oh, we might need more people. Let's go to the convoy.
Okay. We got us a convoy.
Yes.
Several vehicles and tents we can see moving between smoke moving between
Okay.
them and other things.
All right.
Um,
We're on an ad break. I am gonna do a quick bathroom run. I'm gonna
Ditto.
pause the game. All right, we'll be right
Pause.
back, you guys.
Yep, same.
Okay, I'm back.
As am I.
Yay! All right, I'm gonna unpause the game. Um, so something I was thinking about is sometimes people in other countries don't realize how big the United States are.
I think people in the United States don't realize how big the United States is.
Right. I've literally driven across the United States. So it's
Mhm.
3,000 miles essentially. Um this country is so big that different parts of the country actually
Mhm.
have different words for different things.
Mhm.
Right? So the meal that you eat in the evening in California, where I've lived a lot of, the past, several years of my life.
Hmm.
Um, it's dinner, but it's not dinner in all parts of the country.
Some
Some
people
pla-
call it supper.
exactly. Um, or things like, what do you call the fizzy drink that you get in a can that's sweet?
Hmm. Oh, some people call it soda.
Yep. Um,
Some people,
in Ohio, they call it
Mhm.
pop. In the
Yep.
Midwest, pop is
Hmm.
a thing. Um, some people in certain parts of the country, it doesn't matter if it is Coca Cola or not, they call it all Coke.
Yep.
Um, oh, great. Fuck it all. We're gonna die anyway with this idiot leading us. I wish I could kill this bloody bastard before I
Hmm.
die. Well, you guys are just lovely people. Thank you very much. Um, when you're going up the stairs and you're holding, there's a thing to the side that you can hold on to as you're going up and down the stairs. What do you call that?
A railing.
Mm-hmm. Um, some parts of the country will also call that a banister, which
Yes.
is the more British term.
Hmm.
Now, where my thing though
Hmm.
is because I have British relatives,
Hmm.
sometimes I use British terms instead of American terms.
Yeah. So you call it the lift sometimes, right?
Um, so I do say banister rather than railing.
Hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think of other things that I do. I don't do a lot of them.
Do you call
Um,
it the bonnet? The hood of the car. Do you call it a bonnet?
I don't. I
Okay.
don't. But if somebody said they needed a plaster, I know
Hmm.
that they're asking for an adhesive bandage,
Hmm.
or a band aid. Or if somebody says the word jumper
Hmm.
in a different accent from an American accent,
Yeah.
I think pullover sweater. I don't think
Yeah.
a girl's dress that, because there's a jumper that's a girl's dress in the US.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Call it a jumper.
yeah. So it's kind
Um.
of interesting. Um, why do I keep losing people from the watchtower?
Mhm. Maybe they're sick.
I don't know.
If you hover over it, it could say it'll say it might say sick absences.
Workers burying the
Um,
dead. Okay.
Also, um, yeah, watching too much Wheeler Dealers led to me calling the hood the bonnet and the trunk the boot.
The boot.
The boot.
Yes, the boot.
But yeah, without thinking, I call an elevator a lift these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or instead of trash, calling it rubbish.
Yeah, rubbish.
Right. Are what I think is quite cool or
Hmm.
cute is instead
Hmm.
of popsicles, they're ice lollies.
Ice lollies.
Isn't that
Yes.
charming?
Yeah, I like that.
But I will never, ever pronounce the word pasta the way British people do.
Pasta.
Because it's pasta.
Yes.
How can you make the word pasta?
Yeah.
It's pasta. In Italian, they say pasta. Why would you say pasta? It's pasta. In fact, I when I was in school,
Hmm.
there was an exchange student from Italy, and
Hmm.
he used to get mad at people for saying spaghetti
Hmm.
instead of pasta, because
Hmm.
some people will use the word spaghetti
Hmm.
to mean all kinds of pasta.
Hmm. Oh,
Um,
okay.
and he's like, no, that's spaghetti. All right,
Mhm.
this is a good one. Fewer amputations.
Yay.
Nice. Well done.
We call them herbs because
Or
herbs because
herbs.
there's a bleeping H in it.
But yeah, it's funny. There are some words. I keep losing
Well done.
Watchtower people.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good. Um, but yeah, I was saying. But yeah, in my case, Yeah, I've watched so much British. I've been exposed to so many Brits in my time between work and media that there's just a lot of stuff that I just naturally call um, by its British parlance.
Right. And it's amazing how much time you can spend around people, and
Hmm.
then all of a sudden you take on their pronunciations or their gestures or,
Hmm.
you know.
Did I tell you the story about when my British coworker, I told him about how many cities in my area share names with British cities?
Oh, I think you mentioned this to me before.
Ah, okay. Um, well, for the benefit of the viewing audience, I told him that where I live, has a lot of had was one of the first places to be settled in the United States, and of course they brought their city names with them. And he he got a little indignant. He's like, "Why did you? Why do you have so many cities named after ours?" Like, and I explained to him why. He goes, it's like going on vacation in a trailer park."
Well, we do have cities named for, or locations named for some Native American.
Yeah, especially in my part of
Right.
the country. It like you see it a lot. You see it the most in like the Northeast and like the upper Midwest in places like in Michigan and other stuff like that and other places like that.
Right, right.
Mhm.
But I think you'll find it's less cities and more like rivers or lakes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe not so much cities because now there is a city where I have family living where it was named for the chief of the
Mm-hmm.
city.
Right. Outside of San Francisco, there's a mountain called Mount Tamalpais.
Mm.
Oh, I don't want to. No. Sir, the
Oh,
guard you sent to chase the Londoner speaker away. He's dead. They hanged him from the generator. A piece of paper
yes.
was found pinned to this lifeless body with liars written on it. They did go too far.
No, they didn't go too far.
How could they, fucking monsters? Bloody hell, they crossed a line this time. We'll make them pay. Are they gonna lose Londoners?
How could they? Fucking monsters.
How dare
Oh boy.
they? Burial ceremony. I am down to my last comfort chocolate.
Oh no. My Christmas chocolate is starting to run out, but that's probably for the best because I'm trying to
Yeah.
get it back on the straight and narrow for the
Yeah.
new year.
Yeah,
It's just not going very well so far.
I need to get back to my no sugar thing. I was gonna try to start it soon, but my body's been saying otherwise. But that will be over soon.
Same here. Same here.
Like, in a
I
week,
have
I
to.
think I'll be in a good position where I can no sugar it and see what happens.
I've been I've been keeping trying to keep tabs on maybe not the sugar content itself, but the added sugar,
Right.
like in snacks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like a lot of the probiotic sodas and stuff like that. They
Mm-hmm.
don't taste very good, but they don't have a lot of added sugar, like the
Right.
Olipop and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
vegan sodas. I never thought I'd see vegan sodas in my
Right.
life, but they're not terrible.
How are sodas not vegan?
Um, I think it has something to do with the sweeteners that they use that make it, not vegan
Mm.
or something like that.
Interesting. Hmm.
Yeah. If I had to guess anything, it'd be the sweeteners.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to ask human younger brother because he's mostly vegan now.
Oh, okay. I'm a flexitarian. I try to eat what's put in front of me, or in many cases, what I put in front of myself.
Yeah. I've tried being vegetarian before, but I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
I just didn't
Um,
feel okay.
I like cheese too much, and I could never be vegan because of that.
Yeah. Now, I can go without red meat. I have no problems with that.
I think I could do without red meat.
I
I'd give it a try.
I like fish.
Love fish.
I like poultry.
Mm-hmm.
I have a vendetta against turkeys. I'm sorry, but they're really mean. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like them as animals. I think they are very cruel animals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've had some experiences with them, and
Yeah.
I find them very upsetting. Turkeys, they're not kind
Yeah.
animals.
My
So
uncle, my uncle, um, one of my uncles, said there's a place for all of God's creatures on the table next to the cranberry sauce and the stuffing.
oh no. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't usually crave a great deal of meat.
Yeah. In my case, the big barrier to me losing weight and really, shaping up the way I want is, and I've said this before, is because of my alcoholism, and my sweetness cravings can strike at any time, and it makes it extreme. Oh no, people are furious again. Send guards to
Send
calm them
goes
down.
from
You have
down.
them. You have them.
Oh yes, I do.
You can calm them down.
The Londoners gain more followers. Okay. I want to build that infirmary for y'all. Why
People
are
are
these people are so
people are slow.
mean? If we don't unite behind a strong leader, we're doomed. Who says I'm not a strong leader?
Mhm.
2 of our people died. Great.
Ah, jeez.
Great. Hmm. You said something about the beacon. Was there something I needed to do in order to be able to build some kind of connection to the coal mine?
Yeah, you need to build a what is it? There's some kind of, I forget the exact name of the team, but there is a team that you can build, and I think you need to form, and I believe you can do that in the at the beacon, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. So go to the building where the beacon is,
Yep.
and let me maximize my screen here. Um, there's like, oh, that might be something you need to research.
Okay.
Let's try. You can go into the research tree and not have to worry about canceling the research you've already got going.
Okay.
So,
So that would be resources.
um,
Coal mining
very likely under
optimization.
resources.
Yeah.
Let's see, efficient gathering, steam coal mine, large resource depot, exploration industry. Try that.
Wait, where?
Next
Exploration.
to resources,
Oh,
across the top.
yes. Factory. Lighter scout sleds. Hmm.
Very, outpost depot. That's the one.
Outpost depot.
Next to lighter scout sleds.
Okay.
A second, tier 2
Uh huh.
against drafting machines. Do you see it?
Yes. Yes. I already have
Okay.
that.
Have you? Oh no, you don't have.
Oh no, I
You need
don't.
to. You already have that. Okay, yeah. So you need to spend another 25 wood and 45 steel to assemble the team,
Okay.
and then you can't do that right now because you're researching the infirmary.
Got it. That'll be done in a little while.
I hope so.
It better be, because I have to build that infirmary.
Indeed.
Stop dying, people. I don't understand
I'm
what I.
sorry for laughing. It sounds like me when I play a game when I was a kid.
Just
Stop dying!
stop it. Why are you hitting yourself?
Stop it! No! Why'd you jump there?
What are you doing? Oh my gosh, people, stop it. You have food. It is warm. We have a generator. I don't know why they're dying. We have an automaton taking care of all the coal, so we should be fine. What was that sound?
Oh, I don't know.
No, the one that you made. It's like.
Oh yeah.
Burp, burp.
Oh yeah. I thought that was the game. No,
Oh.
it was. I've got the mouth-washing soundtrack in the background
Oh.
because Jesus, that game was good.
I wonder if there's a ways to.
I often say that my measure of a good game is if I'm talking about it and thinking about it long after I finish it. And FrostPunk was in there, and so is Bloodborne, and mouthwashing is in there too. Patrol. Ooh, I don't see any. I don't see any.
I don't see anything
I don't
bad
see any
from that.
I don't see anything bad from this at all.
It looks only good.
But you got to use it. But you got to use it every time.
Yeah.
Now, here's something. Before you sign that, see that red thing at the bottom? See that red thing on fire at the bottom?
Yes.
That's the line. If you cross that, it doesn't mean game over. But it does mean that your ending will change. Everything, maybe not everything changes, but there's a lot that will change. Okay. Mostly with your citizenry.
Interesting. Oh. So, forceful persuasion. Prisoners may get hurt.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Discontent will rise. I don't need more. But I can do propaganda center.
Prisoners? Prisoners may get help. Oh, propaganda center. A propaganda marries a momaganda, and they all have little goslings.
It raises hope. Little goslings.
But you'll have to build the propaganda center.
And discontent
will rise.
Shows detail
but
and
I believe what will happen is that you can distribute bulletins to raise hope when you need it. Mm-hmm. The discontent rising is a one-time thing, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's try this.
But you still have to build it. But you still have to build a propaganda center.
Right. Okay.
Oh, you can't sign it.
Discontent is too high. So maybe I just need to do patrol. I can.
Okay.
Let's do patrol first then. There we go.
Okay, each use will reduce discontent. And then, how do you use it? I don't know. I didn't go this route.
It's like in Terry Pratchett's books, the City Watch, with Carrot and Vimes and everybody. They can patrol the city and make all the citizens of Ankh-Morpork happy because they know who's representing them on the watch. There, that's great. See, it works.
Yeah, where do you use it? I was gonna say, where do you use it? Because you have to use it. You actually have to like.
Yeah. So what do I do?
Use it.
How do I use it?
Maybe it's on one of the guard stations.
Let's see. What's that? Watchdog. Sir, a child came to the guard station and gave the guardsmen a soft toy dog, telling them that they should take it with them when they walk the streets at night.
Aww.
It seems people appreciate those who work hard and protect law and order in our city. Well, that's good to hear.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
The Great Irishman.
The Great Irishman.
What? Okay. Oh, that's the
Oh, that's the name of the
station.
That's the name of the automaton. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, they have all kinds of cool names.
Okay. So it's not. It must be the guard station. Places in range. Tent workers. So it's not the guard station. Wait, where are my watchtowers? It's the guard
It's
station
a
there.
lonely job in that watchtower.
Wait, where is my watchtower? I don't know where they are.
The guards.
No, that's a guard. That's a guard station. That's a
Oh,
guard
okay,
station.
that's what I was thinking of then. Damn it. Where is that guard station? Damn it. Um,
Where are my guard stations? That's a tent.
um, I'm sure there's a way to, what is it? I'm sure there's a way to like have all your buildings, but, I forget how to do it.
Large convoy.
All right.
The workers who were
Looks
riding
good.
in this convoy told us they were heading to the city of Winterhome. We were supposed to follow the signal from the beacon, but we couldn't pick it up. We tried to follow a search pattern. Um,
Well, you need people.
Yeah, scouts will set off towards our city and bring the survivors with them quickly and safely.
Yeah,
Survivors.
you always want to escort survivors to the city because they'll get there faster,
Yeah.
and like none of them will die. But if you send the survivors to the city on their own, then there's a very high chance that some of them will die and they will get there much slower. So there's basically no advantage to sending them by themselves. You could probably do another expedition to the next thing and get back before they would get there unguided. So.
No, I'm trying to build it. It took too long. The research took too long for the infirmary.
Oh no. I feel cheated and dispirited.
Angry about the coal.
Oh
Let's
no,
eat
here
some
we go again.
homes. Yeah, but we have more coal now.
Yeah.
We can at
But the
least
discontent
take
is really, really high.
Yeah, let's heat some homes.
And then you gotta make sure they're cold. Well, that the cold homes are heated. They are above chilly, I believe. And then you have to keep them heated for 3 days. If they drop below the minimum cold threshold, then you will fail this.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to do let's heat all homes because I'm not
No,
sure I'll
you
be
can't
able
do
to
that.
afford that.
You don't have the infrastructure to do that.
Yeah. If I heat 4 cold homes, then all right, so I'll have to start heating 4 cold homes within 2 days and keep them heated for 3 days. Okay. Does
That's
this
the
mean
best
I'm
you-
gonna have to use a higher expense of okay, higher expense of coal?
LT,
guessing.
what the fuck are you talking about?
We also have the video of a man who's oh no.
What the fuck?
What? That's terrifying. I wouldn't touch that food. I'd be like, yeah, you're done. All right, let's try heating 4 cold homes. All right, so how does this work? Secure, okay, make homes livable. How do I... Blah, 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 blah. What kind
LT, my son, we need to talk about your internet browsing habits.
Okay, so what do I do to heat homes?
Okay, so what will happen here is not just range but also a power upgrade usually helps with that. The problem with a power upgrade is that you've been struggling with coal consumption the entire game, and more power obviously means more coal used, unless you also research an upgrade for what is it? Efficiency as well, generator efficiency. Now there's something in this menu that you have in the generator menu that you haven't used yet, and I say do it with caution.
Oh, is that the overdrive thing?
Yes, that's correct. Now I wouldn't do that because if you rely on that, it's going to work. It's going to work for you. However, um, I would really only use it unless you're getting like net even coal,
Right, right.
consumption and mining and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
you're still in the red.
Right.
So, and like I said, if you were to heat those homes and then all of a sudden you take that overdrive and the extra heat
I'm
away,
pausing this because you're
you,
giving me a lot of information right now. I don't want it to
yeah, I'm
happen.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I should have told you to pause it. I get carried away with this stuff. So, um, if you, so like if you'll heat all those homes with the overdrive, yes, but
Okay.
you need to keep that going for 3 days.
Right.
I believe that the generator would blow before you before you get that 3 day goal fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to find a way to secure more coal,
Right.
um, and and make that work.
Okay.
So
So I already have in the research
yes,
um, the outpost depot
the
right
yeah,
here.
the outer, yes. So
So
you
that's
need
my next
to
research.
yeah, so you can do Outpost Depot next. Um, if you want to abandon the infirmary because that promise was broken, you won't lose those resources. At least I don't think you will.
Okay.
So if you wanted to abandon that
Uh,
research and then reallocate it to the Outpost Depot, you should be okay.
I don't know. That's a steam core in there, though. Do I want to risk that?
You're not going to lose that steam
Okay.
core. I believe the resources are returned to you. Um, I think if you don't if you abandon research,
Okay.
and then we can go to exploration industry outpost depot.
Oh, good night, LT. Sleep well.
On that note,
On that note, I'm amazed that I'm still lasting this long. I thought things would end.
I thought we were cooked an hour ago.
I know. Like what is going on? How are we having so much discontent? And I mean, given oh my gosh, we have 47 people and 30 of them are Londoners.
Yeah,
How's that even how have they not left?
yeah. They do leave eventually.
Mhm. And I'll have like 12 people left
Yeah.
until those other people come.
Hmm.
I don't think there are that
And they
many.
will come. And they will come with your scout team. Like I
Yes.
said, this is why it's actually kind of important to have two scout teams if you can build them quickly,
Mhm.
because the because what happens is you can escort one team back and then have another team go out and give you all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
and give and go to other things.
Right. I just don't have enough people really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm, Too much discontent. How did the discontent? Discontent. I'm like the meme of
Let's
the
see.
little girl shaking her hands.
Let's say, are you unpaused?
Oh, I am not. Oh
Yeah, I
my.
know that was a bit of a diatribe I gave you, but that was a pretty important part. It's some pretty important
Yeah.
information. It's all important.
People are
I've done
eating
everything
raw.
I can to make sure I don't handhold you.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, meh. Meh. Okay.
Okay, okay, all right.
Mm.
Oh, you've only got 30 Londoners in there. Maybe some of the Londoners died.
But I have 47 people total.
Oh boy. That could mean
46.
that could mean that you're left with like 17 people in your city once the Londoners leave.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about.
Oh boy.
Uh,
That's actually kind of crappy.
yeah, it's actually terrible.
Um, I think I
Another
was able
person
in my
died.
playthrough. I was able to get them down to like 17 or something like that.
One of the Londoners died at least.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I guess that's good, but I mean, I don't want the people to like die.
Mhm.
You know, that's kind of awful.
Yeah. Like we said in our when we first played this is almost like a test of your humanity.
Yeah, it is.
It's like how much of your humanity are you willing to sacrifice? It's like Shadowrun.
This is why I'm not a politician. I just can't deal with the ethical quandaries and feel okay about it. I do not feel okay about anything that happens. I want the Londoners to be healthy and not be Londoners anymore.
Yeah, don't
That's
be
what I want.
Londoner.
How do I unlondoner them? That's what I want to
um,
know.
I do know that I don't know about the order path, but I do know the faith path has an option that helps people, that convinces people to turn away from the Londoners, and that was how a lot of my guys went down. A lot of my numbers went down.
Purpose. Propaganda. Okay, the patrol. Yeah, I need to wait until discontent is down. Why are you so
Discontent.
high?
How do I un-Londoner them? Remind
Remind
them
them
it's
it's
London.
London. People are furious. I don't think I have enough guards.
People are furious.
The
Oh
guards disobey
no.
you. Uh,
The guards disobey you. Yeah,
uh,
the that happened to me at the end of my playthrough as well. The faith keepers disobey you. Good night, LT. Thank you so much for coming in.
yeah, yeah. Sleep well, LT. Son. Sorry I can't tuck you into bed like a good mom.
Papa's playing games. Papa Panda's playing games with his wife, with his lady. I almost said wife. Oh my goodness, I'm
Yeah,
certainly jumping the gun with that one.
we haven't gotten to that point yet.
I'm certainly jumping the gun, and I do apologize, dear.
Although, human mother and human father, they got married pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They knew each other for a long time, for like about a
Ah,
year or so. But when they started starting dating and getting married, it was like 6 weeks.
wow, that's lightning quick.
Yeah, yeah, it's actually kind of crazy to think about.
I couldn't do that.
I couldn't either. Like, at least give it a year,
Yeah.
you know? We've got work to do. Hmm. Okay, so what am I... Oh, yeah, they haven't started the... Wait.
They haven't started research yet. Yeah, because it's not working hours. Because remember,
But
everybody
it
keeps
is
a schedule
working.
here.
But it is working hours. It's 9 o'clock, and they start
Maybe
from
he's
8 to 1800
maybe he's sick.
at a burial.
Maybe that's where he is at a burial.
Yeah, Andrew Beaumont, come on. We need your help.
Hey, chop chop.
We need your help.
Ooh,
Stop. Ugh.
the discontent line. Okay, so the discontent line is the same as where it was last time. Okay,
Hope has gone down.
but discontent has gone down.
6 weeks, but how long did they know each other beforehand?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it was about a year.
Oh well, wow.
They
A year
knew
and
of
6
each
weeks.
other.
Yeah.
They were somewhat match made. Oh, discontent. How did discontent go down so far? I don't.
Maybe, I was gonna say maybe. Ooh,
It's
we went
because.
down big time. Are you
Yeah.
going to escape again?
I don't know. My hope is slim. Hope is very, very slim.
You got time.
I've got 2 hours with my scouts. They're returning with more people.
Mm-hmm.
Why are so many people dying? I don't get it. They have food, the generator's working. Like, I.
Cold in the, maybe the, medical posts are too cold?
Ugh.
And it went down big time again.
It says it's functioning. The steam hub is functioning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Like, people just like you. That's the long and the short of it. People just like you, I guess. And it happened again.
I don't get it.
You're gonna escape again.
This is weird. Okay, the scouts have returned with peoples. We have 16. We have the magic word. Or the magic number. Okay, what's going on here? Drunken
3?
meltdown. Sir, a drunken man is having a meltdown in front of the cookhouse. He's screaming that people are ill, cold, homeless, and scared, but instead of help, they get booze with their meals. Escort him home. Let him be. Ooh, let's escort him home.
Which do you want? Do you want to escort him home, or do you want to...
Okay, I need
Discontent
to...
and hope will fall, or discontent and hope will rise?
Okay, I need to populate jobs.
You have people.
Yeah. Oh my god, people stop dying! We have guests! Okay, so there's one person everywhere.
Publication.
Okay, so... Discontent falls, hope rises!
Jeez, oh
I
man.
don't know. There's a part of me, it's like, oh my god, just kick me out already! I'll put in some new guards.
Wow.
Guards.
It's a great escape number 4.
Is sure enough just to spend none things in money. I don't even know what that says. I'm gonna add an engineer. I'm gonna add a bunch of engineers. I don't care. I want research, damn it. I feel like research is the only thing that's getting me through anything. Oh, there's a watchtower. Places in range. Workers. Oh.
Hey. Watchtower. I had no idea we were in the presence of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, right. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Alright, an agitated crowd. A member of the Londoners is stirring up a restless crowd. He's scaring people into joining the exodus to London. Their discontent with the situation in our city makes his visions of doom all the more believable. I will handle this my way. The number of Londoners will rise.
Ooh,
I can't
+7.
send someone
like
to
that.
reason with him. Discontent will rise, disperse the crowd. I think I'm just going to have to disperse the crowd.
Can't put our people at risk. Yeah, discontent will rise, I would say. Disperse the crowd. If it means no Londoners join the crew, then that would be my call.
Yeah, and I know, guys. You think I'm making these decisions lightly?
Yeah. There were innocent people in that crowd.
But there's more hope now.
There's no hope.
There's more hope. Oh, I can
Oh,
send
more hope.
people out. Okay, where do I go?
Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go?
I have Winter Home and I have a gloomy cave. A city much like ours. We can see the top of the generator, but switch off perhaps for maintenance. Let's go to winter home, I guess.
Yep, it's a ways to Winterhome, but it's a good idea.
Yeah. Wait. Why is it not? Okay, winter home.
You got to click
Send.
on your scouts.
Oh, yes. Click on the scouts. Scouts! Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, that's 2 days. That's a long time.
2 days and 12 hours. That's 2.5 days.
Yeah. I'm not going to be able to. It's not. There's not enough time. It's not going to get done on time. My
I
workshop
was going to say,
efficiency is 0. How do I bring it up?
where are they?
Going to the fighting
Go to
arena
workers.
at
Oh,
a
it's probably
burial
it's after work hours.
protesting.
It's after work hours.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Oh, I have nobody at the steelworks.
Ooh. Well, you have people.
Put 5 there. I don't really. I'm full of wood. It says full.
Oh, that means you have to build another resource depot to hold it all.
Oh, okay. So, resource depot.
So go
Uh,
to construction,
yep.
the hammer,
Resource
and
depot.
then resources. And there should be something in there that says, yeah, like that. And then,
Okay.
yeah, there you go. As far as I know, you don't really need anybody there to man it, I don't think.
Going to build. Okay, Andrew
Going
Beaumont.
to build. Yep, they're going to build the resource depot so you can hold more wood.
I can law again.
I can law again.
Okay, maybe I can propaganda center now.
Propagandize.
Yay! I shall propaganda. I suppose it's to keep people happy and under control.
Ooh. We'll make this man Minister of Propaganda.
Propaganda.
Our own Department of Truth to tell us what to think. No comment.
Why is mild frostbite considered gravely ill?
Maybe because mild frostbite can turn into a major frostbite and lead to a
No,
potential amputation.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Mom, Dad, I've lied again.
Mm.
Oh boy, so how you feeling about your chances there, sweetie?
I mean, it's improved. I'm shocked that I'm still playing this game right now.
Do you want to keep playing this game?
I don't know. I feel kind of like this is a lot.
It's a
Okay.
lot.
I guess I can. Okay,
It is
let's
a lot.
see.
This
Let's
game
get
is,
some more people.
unless you're coldly calculating, this game can be quite the trip.
Um, let's see.
Oh, your pub is inoperative right now because it's too cold. So,
Yeah, but eventually it will get warmer. Everything's too cold, but I need to populate things with peoples.
okay.
So I might as well do that now.
Okay. Londoners. No, stop it, Londoners.
Oh,
I beat you guys up.
Londoners. Okay,
We
so
beat you guys up.
let's put some
Oh,
engineers
so
into.
see where do you see the little red thing? Oh, jeez. At the bottom of the screen there,
Little
the
red
little one that
thing.
looks like a diamond.
Yes.
Click on that.
Okay.
You have to allocate what you want those resources to go to. And you said
Okay.
you wanted to put those towards wood, so you can click
Yep.
on wood.
Okay.
Now you can hold 300 more wood. And you can change it at any time.
Okay.
And just click off of that, and there you go.
Temperature, please stop falling.
Bundle up. It's getting colder.
It's getting colder. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
I'm disappointing everybody. It's quite terrible. People forcibly dispersed.
I love the dry British humor because I just remember when the Scottish independence vote was happening. There was a BBC thing that John Oliver showed in his segment. It's today, a moment of high symbolism. The Scottish flag flown above 10 Downing Street. It falls down. Oh dear. And things were going so swimmingly beforehand.
Four, five. They're at 100% efficiency. Okay, good. 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 You know this is good. You know this to be true.
Efficiency! Efficiency!
Efficiency! Efficiency! Freezing. I know everything's cold. It keeps getting worse.
It's cold!
I'm just trying to... I'm not going to be able to complete this. It's not going to happen.
Crack that whip for the nerds. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Nerd harder.
It's not
Whoosh,
going to
whoosh, whoosh.
happen. We can build... Wait. Propaganda center. Is that under people? Health. Oh, I'm going to have to research that too, aren't I?
Yes.
Oh, no, I don't have to. I have it.
Oh. The order thing. Yeah. You can, the propaganda. Oh, that's right. It was a propaganda. It was a law, which usually means that you can just build that stuff right away.
Right. Propaganda.
Hooray for propaganda.
I don't know. Oh, no. The Londoners are leaving.
Well, they'll be out of your hair.
Hope will fall. It's too low. My people.
You don't have enough food.
Yeah, I'll just have to let them go or order the guards to stop.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just let them go.
It's whatever you want to do. Do you think you can stop them, or do you think
I wish
you
it
can...
would let me see, like, my numbers in the corner when it's time to make these decisions.
Yeah.
Order guards to stop them or let them go. 17 people is a lot of people to lose.
Yeah.
But if some die, will it be 17 people?
Ooh, tough decision, honey.
You know what? I'm fed up with them. I'm gonna order the guards.
Yes, they've been a thorn in your side for far too long.
It's a tragedy, but threats to order must be dealt with by any means necessary.
Whack.
This is not a pleasant thing to look at. We forced them to stay. 5 Londoners were injured, 2 of them died. We ordered guards to stop the Londoners at all costs, despite their wishes. Trapped like caged animals, they fought tooth and nail for the right to decide their own fate, but they lost. We paid dearly for this victory. Some Londoners were badly beaten. Some of them died. What matters is that they stayed. There are people again. All of them. It had to be done.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not worried about Londoners anymore.
Nope.
11 out. Wait.
This is the end of the second arc of the game. So if you wanted to stop here for the night, that would actually be a pretty good thing.
Okay.
Oh.
Dueling law, first casualty. Sir, we just had our first duel to the death. Apparently the killer had held a long-time grudge against another man and challenged him to a duel. I see. Okay. I think this is where we'll have to stop. I can't speed up the outpost depot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'm just waiting on right now. Can I speed it up a little bit until I get to the point where I can utilize that, or should I just...
There is a fast forward button across the top near the thing there.
Let's see. Fast game speed.
Yep, and I just go fast forward, not super fast forward, you know?
Yeah. 78. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make those hums livable. I'm going to be screwed.
But yeah, this is the end of the Londoners arc, and then yeah, if you, like I said, you know, if you wanted to end it here for tonight, then that's totally up to you, but it's kind of like the second episode.
Oh, wait a moment. Order dawns in our city. This sign will strike fear into the hearts of villains. This sign will remind everyone that we're a city of order. May the traitors cower in terror.
Fear into the hearts of villains.
All right, so hang on a second. So I have the outpost depot researched.
Okay.
So, do I have to wait for the scouts to come back in order to do anything about the coal mine?
I don't think so, because I believe this is like a permanent staff of people that you can send to the coal mine, and then have them come back once a day with X amount of coal.
Okay, it says send an outpost team.
Yeah, so I think you have to. This is where you go to the beacon, if I'm not mistaken, in your city.
Okay. Beacon, and I make a new. I need at least 5 citizens available. It cannot support. All right.
Oh, that's for scouts. Okay. That's for another scout team. Okay. 1 second. Let me look this up because I am, The
beacons of Gondor are lit. Gondor calls for aid.
Okay. Outpost teams acquisition. Okay, so you have to build it from the tech tab.
From the tech tab.
Or try building stuff. See the blue, where the blue is, over the hammer?
Yes.
Try that.
Okay, from tech. Outpost depot.
Tech. See where it's blue? There you go. And then outpost depot. Oh, you need steel. You have plenty of wood, but you need 45 steel.
I can put some more people in the steelworks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will stop here then.
Okay.
All right. So, how do I get out of here? Up there.
The game automatically saves. But what you can do is you can, if you hit escape from here.
Okay. Save game. Ah, yes, under absolute torture. Save. Maybe not bad. Save. Okay, quit. Yes. I thought I'd finish this game tonight. I thought it'd be done.
Nope.
There's an ad starting soon. Okay, well, you know what? Good night, everybody. I don't know how I made it through that, but that was interesting.
I'm proud of you, honey. I love you.
I love you. Here, let me exit. I'll go to, no, wait. I'm gonna go back to live. I am gonna find somebody to invade.
Invade.
Okay.
Invasion.
Invasion. Let's. Ooh, I have to say, Spooky Cat Kevin is playing Human Fall Flat. I love that
Spooky
game.
cat.
So let's go invade Spooky Cat.
Yeah. I like his voice. And he's wearing a cute sweater.
There we go. All right. Okay. Have a lovely night, all.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in.
Until the future.
I'm sorry we weren't more obnoxious.
I know.
The world around.
Okay.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.